Yes, the Truthmobile is back in the Myrtle Beach, South Carolina area. This is Robert Forsch. I've had an opportunity go ahead and get a nap, a shave. I'm ready to roll, baby. Some fresh coffee, and it's awesome to be here. Oh, let me show you what I get to do now. Let's see, I'll do the selfie mode so you can see the wardrobe change here. I was able to, yeah, it says rotate the camera. Oh well, I hate being told what to do sometimes. How about you? So what I want to do is show you a change of venue, and also, let's see, able to get the short sleeve shirt. It's awesome out here today. This is part of what people see when they roll on into this area whenever they're around where I am. And I hope that they find the truth. Whether they find it on my vehicle, my YouTube channel, or a piece of paper blowing down the street that gets their attention and helps them to consider the reality of the world we live in. This is the Welcome Center coming into the Myrtle Beach area. I'm a couple hours out, and there we are. Good to see y'all. Thanks for joining me. It's been really interesting. I read through the thread a little bit, and I could see that some people just needed to be muted. Bless their heart. I guess they just don't know how to play nice, huh? Well, here we go. What ended up happening here too, I was able to go ahead and work through some of the technical difficulties, which was kind of interesting. I've been having a charging problem with the iPhone 10. And I'm kind of working out the details with that. A little bit of pressure out of the globe. Kind of interesting. Now, this is filled with helium, and it's dry. It's a very dry. Australia, are you okay? Yeah, of course they're okay. We're all on a level plane, baby. That's the way it is. How about that? So what I'm going to do is flip this around and show you. Oh, is she round? She's a round. She's a flat. Ooh, I've got some round, an opening here and some flat water. Round and flat. Strong coffee, baby. Let's see what that looks like. The truth. But it's in reverse there. I like the forward orientation better. So here we go. I'm gonna load this up and start recharging this device. I should be good. I'm going to answer some of the questions and comments. You know, I typically am not going to be what's up, buddy? LOL. Cool. A beautiful day. Absolutely awesome. I've got the comments on for a little while. I think I might have surprised a couple, 2-3 people here at the Welcome Center. I don't think they quite realized what they bumped into when they bumped into Robert Forsch with the YouTube channel Truth. Yes, and I am a VIP. We're all VIPs, baby. We're all very important people. Okay, and that young lady, what a precious lady. They let me plug in my coffee pot right there at the location. Oh yeah, that's right, baby. Yeah, the Truthmobile is rolling in hot. I just love this car. And when this one stops working, I'll get a different one. But it's a 94 Lexus LS400 with the V8 in it. It's got ample power. It gets about 23 miles to the gallon overall. And what I'm going to do here is take us into the Myrtle Beach area. I don't know how long my battery is up, so we'll see. I do believe you might be able to read. I'm trying to get you to see the truth behind me. It's not showing up so good. Not in that camera angle for whatever reason. So what I typically do is I lock it in at the speed. It's really relaxing to drive that way. On the way last night, I lost the broadcast in a couple locations through tunnels and such. No tunnels here. We're approaching sea level. It's getting much lower. That's one of the reasons why there's less pressure in the globe, in my vinyl globe that's back is because the air is, the atmospheric density and pressure is less here. One of the questions that I asked, that's beautiful. I got to flip it around. There's a bunch of flat water there. I'll show you some more. It's coming up right here. This is the Wateree River. Can I see it from here? Maybe a little glimpse of it. Here we go. There's the flat water, baby. That's what it does all over the face of the earth. Water exposes the impossibility of the globe. If you believe we live on a spinning, wobbling, gyrating oblate spheroid, you're deceived. There's no nice way of saying it. If you love Jesus, believe we live on a globe and 19 men with box cutters brought down a whole bunch of buildings and hit the Pentagon and all that, you're deceived there too. Bummer for you. Okay, so we've got some water in all the low spots, but we can't really see much of it because of all the greenery there. One of the reasons why the events of 9/11 are such an impossible occurrence is there's so much deception around all that. If somebody buys that story and believes that the administration, the previous administration that did that, is not responsible, they're deceived. They were involved. Now I could see glimpses of water, but I can't see them right now from here. Please don't get freaked out when I drive and show you where I'm going, where I'm looking. Quite often I maintain my eyes on the road, and I can just move the camera as I do that. I have skills, huh? How about that? The world is full of reflections. Okay, so now, have you ever seen this before? I've never done it. Maybe somebody else did. Okay, so let's aim that up a little bit. There we go. How about that? You know, the truth is right in front of us. It's all over the place. Reality, I believe, equals the truth. YouTube Truth is a channel dedicated to sharing the truth to the ends of the earth around the clock. That's just what I do. Now, recently, I shared a memory. It was like 3 years ago, and it was Max McLean narrating Hebrews 11, talking about the Hall of Faith, just an amazing recollection of what some of our brothers and sisters, those of us in Christ, some of what they've had to endure to tell the truth. And some have been martyred. Some will be martyred. What's going to happen to me? I don't know. I'm good to go. Good to go. And that's the bottom line on this, is that now that I'm actually born of the Spirit, I can tell you that the who I am is a whole lot different than who I was. It's not got better hair and better skin, because I'm not doing all the bad habits, although that's a part of it. The biggest part of it is I smile more, I'm happier, I'm not riding dirty, I don't have a bunch of drugs flowing through my system that would impair my perception of reality. Yeah, how about that? Reality, what a concept. You know, it's amazing. So when we are approaching, we're coming up on Thanksgiving, how about that? People gathering, what's it going to be like? Oh, you went to that Flat Earth conference, huh? That's right, I did. And the truth is there. The truth is all around. If you want to know what a flat earther looks like, just look around wherever you are. We all are. It's just that some people don't realize it yet, and they may never. They may never be open to the reality of the existence that we have. One of the threads or comments on the thread is, you know, like the imaginary God. I get that. Now, I was an atheist, and when I was born again, I can tell you there's a change in me that is significant. The looking at the Bible as a guidebook or any other book, that's not what happened to me. It isn't that I just figured out what I needed to do different. I needed to be I needed to be finished off. I was spiritually dead, and then when Jesus took up residence in me, the man that was born blind, here I am. Here's Bobby. That's what my mom used to call me, Bobby. I've got friends on in this group. I think I'm going to probably limit some of my activity to this group for a big reason. Most of my friends that are Bible believing, born again, are in this group. In what I've come to see. Now, there are other groups that are very antagonistic, and there's some evangelistic outreaches possible. One of the problems that I have is when I go to some of these groups, I get blocked. Not so much blocked by the group. Overall, I get blocked from being able to share to groups. If somebody doesn't like my post, I guess they can complain, and then I can get put in a timeout. Isn't that special? I don't like it. I don't like being in the timeout. Okay, so I'll take that and see how that works for me. What will I do with that? So what will you do at the Thanksgiving gatherings with people that you know and family that we're getting together with? How's that gonna go? It's going to be challenging. My wife Joni says they don't even want me. Is that true? Do they not even want to see me? Because I'm not going along with the official lie? Oh well. You know what's really awkward is with somebody that is a professional ministry individual working at a full-time ministry like I used to be. Hey, wait, I still am. I am. It just changed a bit. I was drawing a salary from a ministry where I helped redirect young men's lives in Wisconsin called Rawhide Boys Ranch. You can see it. God used me to impact lives in a powerful way there, even though I was spiritually dead and didn't know it. Yeah, that can happen. So when I'm interacting with somebody that's got a lot of credentials, it may sound like bizarre that I would suggest they're not even born again, or they may not be. So here's what I said to one of our guests that was at the conference. Many of you would recognize his name, Danny Faulkner. I said, Danny, hey Danny, do you believe we live on a globe? Yep, we live on a globe because of gravity. Really? You believe that can work? And we laughed and talked for a bit, and it got a little bit serious when I brought that up. We were talking about the doctrine of election, predestination, and man's responsibility. How can man believe in God unless God opens his eyes and causes him to believe? How can that even happen? It's mysterious. What is also very mysterious is that with abundant empirical evidence, people can believe that we live on a spinning globe, wobbling, hurling, without all the stuff flying off of it. There's so much evidence to prove the impossibility of the globe. And I said, okay, Danny, I know you're deceived about the globe. We've been friends on Facebook for a long time. He's vocal about this, so it's not like I'm sharing, it's not gossip. I would talk to Robertson Jennison and say, hey, if you believe that we live on a globe, I know you're deceived. It's not that I believe it. It's not like I have a different opinion than you. Like, I like this color better than that color. No, you're deceived, and I know you're deceived about living on a globe. The globe does exist in the mind of the deceived and the deceiver. Now, here's where it gets also very interesting. I just want to show you how, even though I'm driving and recording, I get out of the way of people. They're alongside the road. They've got an issue. Yeah, and it looks like they've got it well under control. Okay, so here's the thing. I said, Danny, what do you believe the official story or what do you believe happened on September 11, 9/11? What do you believe? And he said, oh, I gotta show you. Car rollover was there. I saw semis rolled over on the way here too. Anyway, I said, Danny, what do you believe about 9/11? He said, well, 19 Muslims with box cutters. Sorry, Danny. They didn't do what happened on 9/11. the false pretense for war, and for us, not just us, not just the United States, basically the deep state shadow government of the world, killing a lot of men, women, and children that were totally innocent and had nothing to do with that. Neither did the patsies that supposedly did what they did. They may have been involved in some really wicked stuff. I don't know about that. I just know that we saw controlled demolitions, buildings fall in their footprint. It's ridiculous. The official story of 9/11, buildings falling at free fall speed, Building 7 falling in its footprint with an office fire. Come on, folks. That's not even possible. What we saw with 1 and 2, they went down in their footprint as well, and I've got a picture on my photo album. You can see it. It's called Pinocchio's Nose. It's a jet, the nose cone of a jet sticking out the other side of the building. Do you really think that it's possible for an aluminum Boeing or an aluminum jet to fly through steel reinforced concrete? It's not physically possible. I've seen nose cones of jets that were dented by geese. A flying aluminum jet cannot cut through a building and stick through the other side. That was CGI. They use seeing is believing. What did we see? What do we believe? What do we believe about what we saw? You see, a lot of people are so used to the system that utilizes technology to give you information and more. It's mind control technology. It's got to do with the flicker rate, the data that's coming through the data stream, and more. The content is brainwashing. Now, is the Bible brainwashing? Well, I believe it is to a certain extent for me, because it washes all the crap out of my brain. If I want to know what reality is, I'll look to Scripture, and I believe that the Bible is true, is God's Word, and all other words are suspect. So I listen to God's Word day and night. How about that? Because I want to. I'm not a legalist. I'm not doing that so I get to go to heaven. I get to go, and I want to bring as many people with me as possible. I'm not turning Satan's children into God's children, folks. All I'm doing is helping people that are like the prodigal son come to a saving faith in Christ, becoming born again, having the Holy Spirit take up residence, and kicking out whatever demonic entity or derivative of Satan. Evicted. Okay, so like when Jesus is at the Last Supper, and the comment in the Gospel of John about Judas Iscariot, it would have been better if that man had not been born. Yeah, how about that? Because Satan entered into him. Now, the purveyors of the religion of that day in the lands where Jesus was walking around, in the body we recognize as Jesus, Yeshua, the Hebrew name. It's fine if you use Hebrew names. I'm not saying that I need to use that reference to the identity of the Creator that took up human flesh. I'm simply saying that the way, the truth, and the life, the Alpha and Omega, I've known him as Jesus my whole life. At this point in time, I'm going to still use that name, those names, and I'm going to encourage anybody to seek the truth with all your heart, because it matters for eternity. Now let's take a look around here, see what we're looking at. It looks mostly level and flat. There's elevation above and below sea level. What I announced earlier on a comment, there will be flat earth meetups all over the earth for Thanksgiving. Some commemorate that. I'm going to move over as much as I can without smashing into either of them, right? Yeah, that's how it is. Can't always move all the way over. What I was going to say too is that it's really important to have all the full disobedience in my, let's do this for effect, in my rear view mirror. I want that to be gone. I want that to be my path. I don't entertain iniquity in my heart. I'm not anticipating indulging in willful disobedience so that I can have some pleasure for a short time, because it's at the sacrifice of the joy and peace of obediently walking with Christ. And what I want to talk about is that particular perspective of the confidence of new life in Christ and the satisfaction of walking obediently with Him is more than a tire kicker that slipped their hand up in a ceremony. They're not going to have what I got going on. So if you're looking at somebody that's sneaking around with a bunch of sin in their life, that's who I was. That's not who I am. That's not the guy I am. My appetite has been changed. And that's part of the evidence of new life in Christ, and why I continually say, I thought I was born again until I actually was. I think my mic might be getting hit by that wind. Could be. I redirected it, if that was happening. The iPhone 10 has been a bit of a problem for me with charging and with sound connectivity. I'm trying to work through some of the details of that. Yeah, I've got globes in my car. I don't mind. It certainly is a talking point. Another thing that's a talking point, did Jesus turn water into wine? I buy it. He also turned whiskey into water for me, baby. This is highly purified, carbon filter, solar activated water. I like it that way. And I like to go the speed limit. We've got a construction zone right now. They didn't even tell us to slow down. They just showed 45. And that's what we do. This is evidence of me paying attention to what I'm doing. It's not like a driving instruction per se, although people can benefit from it. I learned to enjoy the ride because I prepare for the trip. Think about it. Let that sink in. So I might make my coffee the night before and put it in a thermos like that. That is a Black & Decker I got from the Goodwill. What it'll do is it'll make coffee, the water runs through and it turns off. That's nice. I don't want it sit there baking for a long time. Why does that matter? Well, we don't really have much control over time. Time just is a reference point that we attach to, that we use to measure things with. However, we're all eternal beings having a temporary human experience. I'm going to pan this around and just show you a little bit about what it looks like. The rear view mirror. Ooh, the road's getting a little narrow. Yeah, the way is very narrow. Yeah, broad is the road that leads to hell. Here's a crane. A crane would not work on a spinning, wobbling, gyrating oblate spheroid. It's not possible. Well, shows over there. And that's what I get to do. And there's 70 miles an hour right there. I lock it in, I'm good to go. And what it does is it clears the crap out of the combustion chamber. That may sound kind of silly. I'm not kidding. It really makes a difference. I'll get better fuel economy the rest of the ride when I clear it out. That's one of the reasons it gets better fuel economy. I've got I've known of high performance motor cars for a long time, and something that is really designed for high performance needs to be kind of pushed a bit, and that's what I'll do. It also communicates to the people around me that I'm paying attention. I move over for people that I need to move over for, and I keep my car going down the road the way that I'm supposed to. Ah, that's a Volt, a Chevy Volt. Now that's an electric car. I would like to have an electric car. I don't know that I ever will. I sometimes will plug this car in at night and charge up my two deep cycle batteries that I've got on this vehicle. I've got an inverter too that will allow me to charge up my, or to actually run my my refrigerator when we have a hurricane. It's kind of nice to be able to do that. So I don't have to have a loud generator running outside the house telling everybody, hey, I've got a generator here. I don't want that. What I did is I implemented a lot of USB 12-volt charging equipment, from flashlights and all of that. But then the other thing is, what we can do is get an inverter for our vehicle and an extra battery, a deep cycle battery. I can set that in the garage and connect jumper cables under the door to my vehicle and charge it up and let it run. That may sound kind of silly, but it works really well. I don't need to cough up a bunch of money for a generator when I've got an inverter and an extra battery I can leave connected to it, to the inverter, and run the refrigerator when I need to. I can also run a coffee pot, hair dryer, all that. What I'm talking about is preparation for when things get a little bit challenging. It doesn't mean it's the apocalyptic Mad Max end of the world kind of stuff. What it essentially means is that when there's an interruption in power, I have a way to charge up basically my communication systems. Or system. Multiple devices, and when the vehicle is running, it charges all the deep cycle stuff up, my battery, and then all the storage, so that when I've got a device like this charging up, and my other storage systems, I'm all good. See the vehicle running right there? Yeah, I'm ahead of them. It's no big deal. Just stay where I am. But see, like as far as merging goes, and I talked about this a little bit last night, I'm convinced that the optimal driving speed is the speed limit. It allows for merging. It's not my obligation to get out of the way of somebody that wants to go a whole lot faster than the posted speed limit. I won't be in the left lane as the enforcer per se. I'm there so everybody has to slow down. It's if I look in the rear view mirror and there is a train of vehicles in that left lane, and I'm not going quite as fast as they would like to go, but I'm going the speed limit, which is faster than the vehicles in the right lane, they're going to need to deal with their frustration. They might need to make their coffee the night before. They might need to turn off the doggone TV a little sooner, get a little bit more sleep, instead of staying awake watching programming that has no value in eternity. You know, when I go by the hospital, oh, what do we have here? We've got water. Yeah, it's like a marsh. It's so obvious. Yeah. It forms the shape around all the stuff. The water does. Yeah, even though that area was kind of like logged off and it's not like a river, what'll end up happening is all the puddles basically will be flat and level when they're filled out. Okay, so when I do the photography and videography out at the ocean in the tidal area at the Cherry Grove Point, we call it. It's just down up the road north of the Cherry Grove Pier, up the coast. Very interesting indeed. Okay, so what do we have here? Road construction, obviously, just the way that it is, you know. And they'll stop that as we get closer to the Thanksgiving Day, so everybody can be home with family and so forth. So part of the deal here is that when you're looking at my videography and photography of the tidal activity out at the point, and the sun approaches, and all of a sudden all the little tidal pools light up, it's indicative or indicative of the flat level undisturbed water. And then when we see it's disturbed with waves and that's noticeable too. What I started doing a little more than 3 years ago was creating an audio Bible. that had, it's a audio / video. It's a New International Version, dramatized, just beautiful. I love it. I love it. I was born again listening to it, as best I can tell. So I was set free from a life of addiction, and listening to God's Word was an integrated part of that. It doesn't just magically cause people to be born again hearing His Word. However, faith comes by hearing His Word. And He caused me to believe that the Bible is real. And so some of the, I'm going to comment for some of the people that are wondering, is that true? Is that actually true? Is it the Bible? Is it the Quran? Is it the Book of Mormon? Is it Eastern mysticism? The New Age, Hinduism? Are we going to be reincarnated and all of that? These different religious perspectives that have books and prophets and all that, they aren't necessarily all true. In fact, they can't be, because they're mutually exclusive of one another. The Bible is extremely exclusive, and Jesus said, you think I came to bring peace? I came to bring division. He came to bring a sword. The sword is the Word of God. It's the offensive weapon in our arsenal, and it's basically very offensive. By nature, the truth is divisive, and it does divide the wheat from the tares. Okay, I'm going to flip it around. Uh-oh, low battery mode problem. Yeah, that's not supposed to be happening. We can see the water in there is flat. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this thing working again. This is like this charging cord right there. I cleaned it multiple times, put a little saliva on it, tried to get it to work. I don't think I lose my broadcast when I do this. I'm trying to see if, is it going to stay working? I don't know. So if the broadcast just cuts out, I'm probably just fine. I'll pop on later, maybe to acknowledge a comment or make a video comment. We can see the distortion of the shape with the curved hood. We know the hood is curved. The perfectly flat level water is obvious when we see it. That's what we'll notice in a low area. So photography is a big resource to show clues about the world that we live in, the reality that actually exists. As Scripture goes, what's the reality of that? Well, we've got the historical account of creation, and that's why the shape of the earth matters so much. The sun, moon, and stars move above the stationary earth. That's biblical, that's reality. That's what it looks like to us. That's what it looks like to me. That's what I observe. I hope you do too. It matters because the truth matters. That's the short answer. A lot of people that were atheists are no longer atheists because they've come to believe the reality of the biblical cosmology, what God's Word actually says about the world that we live in, the nature of it. Okay, so we've got the biblical proclamation that tells us the earth doesn't move in a lot of places, not one cherry-picked out of context verse like a whole lot of globe believers will say. And so any supposed Christian ministry that's putting their stamp of approval on the globe, they're part of the deception. There's no nice way of saying that. It is what it is. I'm not saying they're children of Satan. I don't know. I don't know that. I just know that it's the globe is unbiblical on so many, and it's so obvious. And then the supposed evidence or supposed proof for the alleged globe, it's Photoshop, but it has to be. It's Photoshop, but it has to be. Robert Simmons. We've seen the clip. We know that they're talking about that. It is Photoshop because it has to be. It's not reality. So once again, there's the flat water, reflective, fills in the low spots, all of them like that, where the water is. Reasons why I'll pop on back to that and back to what I'm saying, because I'm on a drive, and so what we've got are the beautiful clouds, and when we get to a glassy area, it'll show up. Now, out of the corner of my eye, I saw a helicopter that we'll see over the top of the road. It's a gunship. It's got a cannon out the front end and a couple of propellers on it. See it? Pretty amazing. Amazing technology. One of the things I want you to consider is that the wars that we wage in the world are largely for the false pretense of moving equipment, hardware, taking steal, kill, and destroy. That's what the enemy does. He steals, kills, and destroys, and the weapons of the warfare that the world uses actually kills people, a lot of them. So when I was, to be clear, I'm going to talk about a couple of things. One of them, I was on multiple recordings concurrently at the Flat Earth International Conference. The London Guardian, the BBC, and more. There's a lot of streams that I'll very likely be on. And one of the questions Rich asked me, why does it matter what the shape of the earth is? What would the benefit be? Well, it's enslaving people in their mind. They're conscripted to a world of control they don't realize even exists. So when 19 Muslims in box cutters crashed our buildings, planes into buildings in New York City, well, dadgummit, we got to go ahead and blow up a bunch of people in Iraq. That's a lie. The whole thing, that whole story of 9/11 and the events of that day are the false pretense for war. That's why it matters. People wanted to believe that George W. Bush was a good guy. Some people wanted to see him as a bad guy. The point is that typically the elections are the illusion of choice, to give people the perspective that they're actually having some say in what goes on. And to a certain extent there's a say, it's just not. I wanted to speak a different language, and that was, I did not vote in the last election, and I'm okay with that. Got an opinion on it too. It really fires people up. They think that somehow me not voting means I need to shut my mouth about voting. No, I'm telling you, it has little to no effect, and I wanted to send a message to the system that I get it. It's not just the message that I'm not voting because I realize it's the illusion of choice. Concurrently with my data stream, I'm saying NASA lies. The alphabet agencies of the world are controllers of the perception and the perspective that a lot of people have. They promote a false reality and cause people to be all fired up about killing other people in countries that had nothing to do with events that they say occurred the way that they did. It's tragic. There's no nice way to say that. War is tragic. The weapons of the warfare we have would be truth and deception. I'm with the YouTube Truth channel. So you can find the truth on my channel. I'm going to go ahead and drink this coffee and take a breath. You see, when I do something like take a drink, I don't have to go all over the road. Why would I do that? I give preference to the drive. I'm not all over the place. There's the flat spot in the ditch. Notice it? It's what it does. I want to help educate people to see that reality. There's somebody in a hurry, obviously. We've got more of them coming. See them? Here they are. Can't see them there? See them now. This is the way it is. That's how it works. The reflections are all over. As water reflects a man's face, God's word reflects the man. So when I looked in the mirror and I saw an active drug addict and alcoholic homeschooling our sons, it wasn't the way that I certainly wanted it to be. I couldn't stop. All I had was the flesh. So we get people in a hurry to start their vacation. Now, if I had a life-threatening emergency, I would break the speed limit if I needed to. I'm in, this is the exit for Darlington right now. This is where I was in the psychiatric ward, I believe, about a decade ago. Pharmaceuticals messed me up. Now look at that move. Like, that's totally inappropriate, right? What in the world are they thinking? Right? I guess they're in a hurry. I guess that makes it okay. Am I mad at them? No, not at all. That's not how I do it. I just, what I'll do is what I believe Jesus wants, and everybody with that. I'm not going to try and get out of the way of people that are breaking the speed limit so that, you know, they can do that. I'll be where I need to be for overall safety and navigation of my vehicle. When the roads are icy, lane changes around semis can be fatal. I saw vehicles flipped over, busted open like big semis on the plane coming back from, like when I say the plane, I mean like the Great Plains, like across Kansas and so forth. Okay, so let's flip this around. There it was again. I wanted to show you the flat water in there. You'll see it when it shows up, hopefully. So as water reflects a man's face, God's word reflects the man. See, we won't see the water up high where those trees are. We'll see it down in the ditch. It's kind of how that is. So when I get ready for a driving broadcast, I want to have everything the way it needs to be, so I'm not reaching around trying to mess with stuff that would be actually dangerous during the drive. Okay, we're going to Myrtle Beach area. Man, am I excited to get back. I'll be riding the motorcycle and sharing Jesus all over the face of the earth. It's what I get to do. No matter where I am, what I'm doing, as long as my channel is up, that's happening in cyberspace. That's benefit and part of the workhorse of this. When I drop in on a thread where Bill Nye is and Neil deGrasse Tyson, gravity, you know, doing mic dropping and sharing a bunch of crap. When he's doing that, what I'll do is I might drop in on a post and put my phone number there, and people go, hey, wait a minute, somebody put their phone number there, what's going on with that? You know, I get calls from all over the world. Some will go to Facebook Messenger if it's coming in from another country. That makes sense, right? It's virtually free. If you've got somebody that you want to stay in touch with and they would like to have that happen, trade phone numbers. We can block phone numbers if we want to, if need be. The reason why I say that is because there's coming a day when we might not be able to have Facebook Messenger or the data that posts phone numbers or the ability to communicate with people. Just saying, it's important to get those numbers out. And it's kind of a cryptic way for me to say, hey, I'm over here and I care and you can call me. I've had a lot of people say, hey, the reason why I reached out to you is just that you weren't hiding. You weren't afraid to put your number out there. That's right. I'm not afraid to live, die, or tell the truth, right? So now it's time for me to just show you where I'm going, and I'll be looking there and I just hold my hand nice and relaxed doing its thing. Now I'm going the speed limit's 60 now. So I just drop it down to that for optimal merging speed. And then I do that. Now the professional drivers that drive for a living, man, those guys like to go the speed limit. A lot of them do. It's too much of a hassle to drive a big rig like that with the speed rising and falling, and oh man, it's tough. Plus tickets and being all tense. There's a chemical cocktail that occurs in the body when we're doing something that we don't believe we should be doing. There is for me anyway. So I rather just obey the laws of the land, do what I'm supposed to, and it's all good. Yeah. And see, I can be riding in the middle here. Gives this big boy a chance. I'm his blocker, okay? I'm allowing him to do what he wants to do, because that rig in front of him is going like a mile or 2 an hour slower than the speed limit. See, I'm going the speed. They're going a little faster from Florida. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, people are going to do what they want to do. Okay, in 8 miles, we've got Myrtle Beach exit 170. Man, am I glad to see that. It's been an interesting drive. I've seen a lot of accidents along the way. Some look like they were fatal. Could be. The vehicles were too damaged where the person would be. 3 people per second no longer have their human experience. We're all eternal beings having that temporary human experience. People going to have fun. Wow, isn't that weird? It looks like those wheels are going backwards. Do you see it? That's not how it looks through my eyes. So when I'm driving, sometimes I'll see people shooting the camera at the Truthmobile. How about that? Yeah, the wheels are gyroscopes as well. They may not be as noticeable on a vehicle. However, on a motorcycle, they're very noticeable. The whole handling properties and characteristics of a motorcycle changes with the speed. Did you know? I got some news for you. I'm going to flip this up. I've got a question. Do you believe applying either of the brakes on a motorcycle while it's in the air would have any effect? What do you think? When I'm up in the air, flying through the air, and I've done it a lot, gliding through the air, will putting my brakes on have any effect? Either one. Okay, yes it will. Because the wheel rotation, when I grab the brake, will stop the rotation, and that force will take the front wheel down. If I'm flying basically level, and I hit the front brake, it's going to cause the front end to dip down. Did you know that? Do you know what a gallon of water weighs? On the last live broadcast I did, a gentleman said 8.33 pounds. And I made a voice response. I said, at what temperature? At what temperature does it do that? I don't know exactly. The volume and density changes with temperature. It drives the hydrologic cycle, the water cycle of the world. Warmer water is less dense and has more volume. Oh my gosh, they're all speeding up. What's going on here? It's just what they're doing. It's not what I'm doing. I'm doing my own thing. When I raced motocross and I would be on a track that was really muddy, here's the deal. I wouldn't want to be following somebody, not just because I didn't want mud in my face, although that's a part of it. If I'm following behind somebody that crashes in the mud, I'm going to crash into them. Or if they're in a rut and I'm driving right behind them, I'll be stuck in the same rut. I hope you're picking up on some analogies here, because they're intentionally there. Now, this big boy, I can see him in the mirror. He's a little frustrated with me right now. But he'll get to go. There he goes. It's all good. Yeah, people are in a hurry to start their vacation. What'll end up happening, I've been on the road, driven all over the country here, and what's happened is that I've seen the same vehicles as we're making a long haul in a similar direction, you know, like going across the plain like that. Sometimes we'll meet each other at the truck stops. I think we're still at 60, pretty sure. And since my exit is coming up, I'll just slide on over here, no problemo. We've got a bridge, we probably have water in there, under there, right? We had water coming up in our neighborhood from the Waccamaw River because of the Hurricane Florence, or whatever the storm was. Harvey, that decimated Texas, I heard had over 5 feet of rain. Devastating. There's weather modification and control in this world. It's criminal. We get droughts and floods. People die, people kill themselves because they got flooded out again. Lost their business, didn't have insurance. Check, please, they're out. I know of it personally, right? I heard of it. A young man, a nephew of mine, was helping cut firewood for a gentleman who had a heart attack and died because of the storm cleanup. Now, we're all our bodies are all eventually gonna stop working. That's not the point. The point is that because of weather modification and other fabricated events, like the false pretense for war, people die, okay? Now, they're gonna die anyway, so I'm not saying it's good for them to die that way. I'm just saying that it's criminal to cause floods and droughts, and it's not just the United States government, just so you know. I'm not a bashing any particular government. I'm simply saying basically the world system is involved in causing wars and more. See, when I'm going the speed limit, the people merging, it just makes it a whole lot easier. You see what I'm saying? I got a truck behind me that's driving a fifth wheel. Now, you maybe can't see him. He looks pretty content back there. He's not tailgating me. Why would he? Oh, by the way, if he's following real close, I don't hit the brakes to make him mad. I typically have a good following distance and they'll go around me. Now I get to go 70. How about that? That lets people know I'm not asleep at the wheel. I'm actually paying attention, and I had the opportunity to clear a little of the carbon out of the car. How about that? And here we go to Myrtle Beach. Beautiful. Sunshine and happy people. It's awesome. Rolling in a little hot. I'm good with that. I saw him. I look for this. I know people do that kind of stuff. They're zooming all around like little race cars. Yeah, even though I like to get on the gas pretty quick. Not a problem. It's a beautiful day. It looks like a lot of natural clouds. Yeah, intermingled with some that are somewhat fabricated, right? It's what happens, what they're doing. Who are they? I don't know. So now we've got 45. And I'll relax. Do you think I can take them off the line? This little pea-popper here, this little Corolla. Ooh, she's looking like she's gonna... Yeah, I'll be able to do that. I don't know this light real well. In the neighborhood where I live, I'll typically be able to anticipate the lights. I'll just wait until this turns and then go. I'm not gonna try and anticipate it. There we go. Showtime, baby. Now it's up to 60. And there we go. That's how I'll do it. I had a video that I saw where they were driving sports cars. It was really cool. These were like exotic Lamborghinis and all of that. Water down here again. No, not so much. A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. But anyway, adrenaline rush watching these people drive around the city and that. I want this to be somewhat entertaining. Who knows what's going to happen, right? And I'm going to be pretty active on the video comments to people. I want them to see I'm not all angry with them. Oh, there she goes. I don't know that I would get a speeding ticket for doing what I did. I don't think so. I don't think that's illegal. Exceeding the speed limit is. We know that. Yeah. So it's just a beautiful rolling countryside, pretty clouds, a little bit of a ride. You can get to know me a little bit better if you care to. Or, like I've said before, you can scroll on by. Oh, my battery alert's on. Not good. You know, so I bought this phone, have the insurance plan on it. It's 250 gigabytes of storage. With my protection plan, I'm at like $1,400 into a phone that doesn't want to charge easily. I had it replaced already a couple of times for that very same reason. I'm a little put off about it. Now, what they have done, and I appreciate, is they'll send me a replacement. I'll probably have them do it again. I take a known charging cord, which it is. I can tell that the power is coming through the cord because I can feel it on my tongue when I touch it on my tongue, like a battery. I can tell it's hot, and it'll charge other stuff. I've got a lot of good charging cords. I know how to charge stuff up, and it just hasn't been very effective. I love the iOS, the Apple system. It's just been very frustrating with the charging on this, and not only the charging. I guess they decided to go to the lightning cord adapter for all the 3.5 millimeter jacks. Oh well, it's good. You know, Apple doesn't apologize for making a change. They just do it. I still love the overall operating system, and what I've needed to do is kind of adapt what I do as a result of that. And that's even changed what I do for broadcasting. Okay, so I could pull over, yeah, but I won't, not right now. Here we got a bunch of dust and gravel and trucks and blacktop smoking, all of that. All of that. I actually like to move over and let people come out. That's why I stayed in this lane in case that truck wanted to pull out. I like to accommodate people. Interesting enough. You might think I'm trying to be a jerk about it. I'm not. It's just that it's just the way it is. See, I tried in the interview with Logan Paul. Yeah, it was funny. We both interviewed each other. I don't mind asking questions. One of the things that I said, I believe, to Logan, if are you prepared to die for what you believe the truth is? And if you're not, then you probably haven't found it yet. Because the truth that I found is worth dying for. I'm not just talking about the shape of the earth. I'm talking about the reality of the world that we live in, and that people actually need to be born of the Spirit of God who created the world that we live in. He's the one that determines what's right and wrong, good and bad. I don't have a problem with him doing that. Like, why would I? Right? Some people have a problem with that. See, when I get up to the speed limit quickly, It just allows people to decide where they want to be. I saw a bunch of puddles in there, and they're just like flat. There we go. Back up to the speed limit. Now it's 50 in here. I've driven in winter conditions in Wisconsin. What's different about here, all these shadows in the road can affect how people end up driving and flipping over because of ice that can form. I'm just going to kind of hold it here, and of course I'm watching where I'm driving and glancing over. There's water that's down in those low spots there, and sometimes you'll see the shiny flat spot. It's all part of the clues. Yeah, how about that? So now we've got the big log truck there. I don't have a problem with that. It's not like I'm the enforcer on the road. It's not what it's about. It's not about me looking at what other people are doing and trying to stop them from doing what I don't agree with, like that car. Oh well. So here I am. Now I'm dropping it down to the speed limit. Oh wow, do we have porta potties up there? Absolutely. We don't have toilet water flying out on people in Australia because of gravity. Well, hello, it's just water seeking its level. That's what it does. We've got a little cluster of porta potties, and I also caught up to the people that went by me. I'm going to take the person that zoomed around me, and I get a better perspective of Powell's porta potties. There we go. How about that? It's a diesel. Diesel has a lot of torque. That's why diesel engines power ships, locomotives, and high-performance sports cars. Did you know that? I had a diesel TDI Volkswagen that rocked. I had it modified at a tuner in North Charleston. I got a lot better fuel economy. 55 mpg on the overall trip from South Carolina to Southern California. Yeah, there's missing 650 miles of curvature. That's a 30% grade. When I got to, no car could drive it, locomotive or truck. Nobody could. I averaged 55 mpg in the road. Now check this out. Little impatient person over there. Oh my gosh. She's wearing a headband, chewing gum, and swerving around cars. And she's got a fish on the back of her car. What is she thinking? Oh well, it's okay. What am I gonna do? I'll just go the speed limit, right? Probably catch up to her and beat her off the line the next time. I don't know. That doesn't matter even if I do. But you see, that kind of driving around trying to compensate for poor planning. Oh, yep, she's turning. Got to go to the Dollar General and get something. Got to be in a hurry to go there, right? If I sound irritated with that, I'm not. It's just kind of funny, and it's a talking point because I'm not like I know exactly what your way of doing things is. You might be just like that person driving like that. I don't know. That's why when I talk about people in general, like I thought I was born again until I actually was. See, this can be seen by, okay, a lot of people. So the earlier broadcast that I did driving through the mountains, when I looked at it, had like over 1,200 views. Now that might have been for 2 seconds and say, oh, there's that Fruit Loop there. I don't want to see any of his crap. And they go on by. Oh well, it doesn't matter to me directly. I mean, I'm not monetizing anything. I'm not selling anything. By the way, I got told I can't have the YouTube Truth on my garage door at home. Yeah, Joni and I argued about that. The car was all iced up. I was at the conference getting ready to pull out. I said, is there a date I said, the car's iced up. I've got to drive halfway across the country. Is there a date that says what kind of a time limit? She just got mad at me for having the thing on the door and that the HOA didn't like it. Too bad that they don't like it. I don't know that it's a violation. I want to find out if it actually is, or somebody just doesn't like the truth. That happens. People don't like stuff, and they like to take that opportunity to share it away from others. I don't mind that they can try. I'm not going to be bullied. And that's what I was telling Joni. I got upset with her for just running over me with her mouth. I said, is there a date on it? And she just got mad. Well, there wasn't a date on that document. But anyway, and I guess I can't have the water sitting out on my bird bath the way I have been. Well, the thing is, if I put it in the backyard, the line of sight and trajectory won't work for the sun this time of the year. So I don't know. I'll move it if I have to, and I've got until the 8th, and that's all good. I'm good with that. I actually don't have a problem moving it. I just don't want the Truthmobile to be stripped of its logos. At which point I've got a cover I can throw over the top of the car if I had to. I wonder if that would work for them. You see, and that's part of the deal. The enemy of our soul uses intimidation. Okay, I just saw a whole bunch of flat water, but I'm not going to see that now because I can tell I'm going uphill. Okay, we can see the rise. Look at the overpass was our clue. Now we can see more of it, and then we're going to go down. But this up here, there's going to be a lot of water that we'll be able to see. Now, when the storm came through, I have a cousin who told me there were pictures taken of deer on top of 2-story houses along the Waccamaw River. That means the houses got totally flooded out big time. Now there's going to be a lot of water down here. See it all? There it is. It's what it does. Doesn't stick to a spinning ball. It fills in the container. Perfect reflections. I saw it coming. I knew it would be there because this is what it does in this location. It's not flooded, it's just a wetland. It's David Walker Harwell Bridge, and this is the Great PD River, they call it. Okay, and this is what it does. See, when I was recording the Bible and posting it on Facebook, when I started 3 years ago, I didn't know about the global lie. And then Robbie Davidson produced the movie, The Global Lie. As soon as my friend Nigel Bake said, "Where's the curve?" and I looked for it, within a couple hours I realized the globe was absolutely a lie, and I unknowingly participated in perpetuating that lie. It was a deception I did not know existed. There it is. Look at the reflections. There we go. We're in Marion County now. Yeah. Yep, here we are. There will be more water here, of course. It's just what it does. There will be people speeding because that's what it seems like most people do. Why would I do that? I'll just go the speed limit. That's what I'll do. It's easier that way, less stressful. Wow, the Myrtle Beach Reptile Expo. That's an old sign. The signs are all around us. What are we looking at? What kind of signs do we see? Right? Oh, there's a liquid pumper there for bathrooms. That's a log truck, some with logs, some without logs. And I'll smell, when the wind is right, I'll smell the different paper mills that are around here. Reminds me of when I was a child. Myrtle Beach is 54 miles away. Okay, we've got a bridge. Very likely we've got water, right? I've got it on both sides. Oh yeah. It's just a little bit higher. That's the point of it, folks, is if you get a little bit higher, then you're going to be above the water line, right? It's just what it does. That water was coming up in our neighborhood, even though the hurricane didn't flood us out directly. It was the water afterwards that did that. Photographers help capture and share the world that we live in. That's one of the reasons why I've featured other photographers' work on my page. I'll share it with you. Like Nowicki. Is it Jonathan Nowicki? I forget his first name. Yeah, Joshua Nowicki. I met his nephew at Life Fest in Oshkosh. We're friends on Facebook, by the way. And I've shared his work. I think it's brilliant. To be able to put together the kind of photography that it does requires a lot of effort. Cows, clouds, trees, it's all gorgeous, right? It's all about the angle of the shot. I mean, that's all part of what this is, you know? So some of this might be educational for you. I may tell you something you haven't thought of. How many people in there are dead? My grandma would say that. Nana would say, do you know how many people are in there that are dead? And she would say all of them. Was that the truth? None of them are. They're all somewhere else. Their bodies stopped working. Is Santa Claus real? I've got Logan Paul and myself in a selfie at the Flat Earth International Conference. The Santa Claus hat's on top of the mirror. It says I've been good. That was part of a very early deception. We were told that Santa delivered all the presents in a night, and throughout the year we were instructed to be good, so we got what we wanted, right? Well, you can be as good as you can be and still get things you don't want in this life, right? God is not a cosmic killjoy. I can attest to that. He gives me the desires of my heart as I delight myself in obediently walking with Him. It's pretty conditional, okay? It's very important that I unreservedly obey Him for the joy that you're looking at with what I have going on. It's not for the insincere tire kicker. It's for somebody that is very passionate about it. I can tell you, until I was born again, I didn't experience anything even close to this. Here we've got the cotton fields, see them? We still have cotton here. We've got a lot of synthetic fibers worldwide. We used to have in this area a lot of textile companies, and now not so much. The shift has been overseas. China does a lot with fabrics, Indonesia. You can look at that. Does that have any effect here? Absolutely. It collapsed some of the local economies. So not only were they using synthetic fibers, they were using ships to move it from China to here. And then conversely, what do? Well, the people that are above my pay grade, what they'll do is they'll bring workers in from other countries. How does that work? Works really well for what they want to accomplish, dropping the labor rate here by bringing in people from other countries. I'm not opposed to other people coming here to work. It would just be nice if there was the jobs to keep everybody going. You know, they intentionally move it around so that they can control economies. And they do. That's what they do. Water in the ditch, see it? See the flat, shiny spot? That's what it does all over the face of the earth. So when I show that, I'm not saying that conclusively proves the globe is impossible. What I'm simply saying is the physics and properties of the water. It's a reminder that's how it actually works. It doesn't stick on a spinning ball. Not a tennis ball at the beach, not in the ditch, not in the shower, not in the toilet. They're a reminder. There's some right there, that shiny spot. Did you see it? I'll try and show you a little bit. That's one of the reasons why I'll take pictures of urban displays. So you can see that. Now here's a group, Beneteau. It's a sailboat manufacturing company. Looks like they still have vehicles parked in the employee parking lot. I've seen that company here for 30 years, at least, that we've been visiting. North Myrtle Beach, 60 miles away. That's essentially where the Cherry Grove Fishing Pier is. North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, also known in that area as Cherry Grove. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Up through the roof there. Okay, so I'm gonna bring that up and just show that to you a little bit. Flat water, see the reflections in there? There you go. So if you're on the fence, Logan Paul, if you're watching any of my stuff, I'm sure you have. You know what? I'm pretty sure he saw me before. Well, because I was at the last Flat Earth conference, and there's I think approaching 20 million views of me talking about the toilet water not flying out on people in Australia because of gravity. Good. I've met people personally that researched it because of that video, the HBO Vice News video. I didn't see Brady and the crew at the last conference. Were they there? Does anybody know? If you saw Vice News at the last conference, if you can drop a comment in the thread, that would be nice. Now, what I did with Michelle Lewis Irwin's post, beautiful post, a lot of activity on it. I think over 560 some acknowledgments, mostly likes and loves and wows. That's awesome. Some comments kind of crude, shouldn't go there. She's a beautiful, elegant lady. Shouldn't be picked on. And for the most part, she wasn't. Some people that get base or they might even not even be a real person. It can be artificial intelligence that are hating on people or making comments that are crude. Right? It can happen that way. And one of the reasons why I mentioned that, I shared it to all my pages. I believe I've got like 11 pages in a group. I believe I'm going to change the name of the the group #truth to #YouTube truth. And the reason why I want that to happen is I want that little sliver of activity that I'm involved in to get people to find the truth. And I look at the proclamation to YouTube truth kind of like Google it, YouTube it. I've YouTubed how to replace the clutch in my Honda, which I did. Uh-oh. My battery isn't working again. I gotta maybe get a different phone again, unfortunately. So if my broadcast breaks, whoops, sorry about that. Good thing I trimmed all the nose and ear hair, right? You know, I saw myself with a 3-day beard, and I'm glad to have shaved it off. I think it cuts off about 15 years. Because I've got a grayish beard that just doesn't look as good. My dad said, you know, Bobby, I don't know of many people that look better with hair on their face, especially you. He said you look great without a beard, and I'm like, thanks, Dad. So, what do we got going on? I'm not trying to bug the semi driver. He can be in the left lane, but look at the speed. Look at where we are. I can drop it like a ½ mile an hour. In fact, I'm going to just tap the brake and let him roll on in. How about that? You think he'll go over? He's probably on his way to Myrtle Beach. Yeah, could be. I don't know. But now he can do what he wants, and it's no problemo. See, and he's basically going the same speed now. We're just at a different distance apart. I feel more comfortable with it too. So around here, we've got a lot of farmers markets, people growing food and selling it. It's kind of nice. I encourage everybody that wants to find a beautiful place to live to come here. Flat Earth meetups all over the face of the earth, especially in Myrtle Beach area, because it's real close to sea level. I would love to see an international conference here. I just don't know how to put it all on. So in lieu of that, I'm going to say come and visit Myrtle Beach. This past year in 2018, Mike Mahaney of the North Myrtle Beach Chamber of Commerce, well, he's the city manager in North Myrtle. He said this area, the Grand Strand, was scheduled to have 20 million guests this year. Millions of people spending billions of dollars to enjoy this area. That's awesome. It's a mission field that comes to us. That's why I do this. That's why I don't want to move. Any of the little puddles out in the field where the tractors were, I saw some of them. It's just the way it works. We'll see more of them. It's just a reminder of the physics and properties of water, that's all. See, a lot of people will be going to these little churches and they may actually be born again. I don't know. I just know that I thought I was until I actually was. Water. More water. Now we're going up. We won't see the water. A lot of the places flooded out weren't even in a floodplain. That's what's kind of interesting about that. In fact, they changed some of the parameters of where they consider it a flood area, floodplain now. Plain, a floodplain. Just think about it. Yeah. That's how it is. That's how it works. Probably a bicycle for most everybody in there. Not necessarily though. Maybe though. One of the reasons why I mentioned personal struggles and challenges that I've had is because it comes with the territory. So when if you get to know me better and you see I'm happy and, you know, pretty upbeat most of the time, just know that's all because God, who lives in and through me, helps me to feel that way, causes it to happen, because it's tough. It's tough out here. Another bridge. That's a pretty tall bridge. I would think a railroad or something, or I don't know. Maybe water down there, I'm not sure. Water tower, I know that. Oh, you know what? It's a roadway going underneath. That's what it was. Now it's pretty flat. There's slight changes of elevation. This area, by and large, is very low. I was informed that it's not all the low country. Oh well, that I was wrong. I've been told I've been wrong before. You know what? It's pretty low. I guess where we live isn't considered the low country. Charleston, I guess, is where they call it mostly the low country. But the point is, when I was on wireless, my router from my internet at the house, I got 22 to 44 feet above sea level. When I was on digital data from the cellular network, 8.6 feet above sea level. How about that? That's pretty low. And then the other thing, it may appear to be hard on the vehicle. It's not. It's not. It just lets me know that it's working good. News 13 up there on the tower. I've met representatives from there out when I do what I do. This says storm warning. Hurricane season is June to November. Right? That's right. That's what they say. Yeah, the sound is still working. I just wanted to give you an opportunity to notice that without me announcing it every time. What are the clues all around us? Well, a lot of billboards means that we've got a lot of attractions here. Okay, so he wants to come out. Oh, he's going across. Okay. Yeah, so I thought he was going to go in the close lane. So it'd be kind of like if we went for a ride together and you wanted to get to know me a little bit more. That's part of what this is. And what I was saying earlier about when I had been doing outreach on the beach evangelism, I had the information on my shirt. People would come up to me. I typically let my interaction be at their invitation. I get a lot of that now. People are curious, and they should be. There are clues around. I've had people tell me at the conference, one of the ladies that took care of the room said she listens and watches YouTube all day long while she's working. That looks like snow. Could that be? Did we get a bunch of snow here? I don't know. That's kind of weird. Either that or it was really white sand. I normally don't see much of that around here. Little PD River right there is what that is. I know I mentioned this on the last broadcast. I wouldn't even buy a vehicle typically that doesn't have a working cruise control because it can be too expensive. Same thing with climate control. The air conditioner can be easily $1,000 to $1,500. Same thing with cruise control. However, a cruise control could be as simple as a hose that needs to be stuck back on or trimmed, or it could be a lot more. So if somebody can fix it and show it what it was, I might be interested in it. I don't need the latest, bestest car. I've got one that works. The labeling and all that on this car is about $500. Yeah. The shirts, I had $600 worth of YouTube Eternal or YouTube Truth shirts. I changed the name even though I don't have the URL for Truth. The reason why I did it, I believed it would be worthwhile, beneficial, because I want the name. I don't want to have Truth for You, although it's kind of nice. I just wanted the word truth, because that's a powerful reality. Logan Paul had that stuck on his forehead. It won't stick to my coconut oil forehead. It worked on him. It was kind of funny. We had a really nice conversation. I'm gonna throw my data up there again. There you go. The spelling of my last name will get you to my channel, no problemo. We're always supposed to make room for people that are along the side. I just do. I'm paying attention. This is no problem broadcasting and driving at all for me. When I turn the camera, it doesn't mean I'm necessarily looking where I'm turning it. Well, there's mixed messages. It said open, but the whole thing was closed up. Ooh, we've got the Welcome Center. That is awesome. And we've got one of the local law enforcement officers there. That's excellent. I love to see those guys around. Keeps the riffraff out, right? There we've got the flat water right there. Let's see what the Welcome Center looks like. Isn't that pretty? Okay. So, let's see, what am I gonna do here? Let's take it in. I've got to use the facilities. That's a nice way of putting it. I'm gonna drop the cord. It's intermittently working anyway. Now it knows my key is in my hand and it'll lock. So when people, oh yeah, we can see my lights are on. They would stay on and it would be all good by the time I got out. But a matter of practice and principle, I'll just shut them off. Yeah, it's all good. So when people come to the Welcome Center, here's what they'll see. They'll come on in here and they'll see this. What will they do with that? Will they go there? Are they looking for the truth, or do they want to believe what they want to believe? Not sure. It's not my call what other people do. Hi there. Let's see. Restrooms, please. Thanks so much. It says low battery. Yeah, no doubt there. Okay. I'm a hand washer. It'd be nice if more people were, right? Okay. And there we go. And this is the one more example. That's just the way it actually works. Okay, so can you see that that's not straight? Much better, right? Not quite. See, we can pretty typically see plumb and square. That's the way it's set up in our world. We're looking for that. If it's not, we can see it. So these are some of the accommodations that you'll see when you come to the Myrtle Beach area. Beautiful, right? See all the clues there? It's what they call a lazy river. Very nice. And then the obvious level horizon. Look at the reflections there. That's real world stuff. That's what we're actually looking at here when you come in, if you come and visit. I don't get any compensation. Oh, here's the okay. We've got the Christmas reinforced right there. That's pretty typical. And then just a tremendous amount of attractions and golf and dining and all of that. Come to a welcome center like this. Free Wi-Fi, pretty cool. So, for whatever reason, the broadcast was interrupted. I'm not exactly sure why it does that. I had a connection going in the same location that I lost connection coming out. There were some fantasy adventure space, a little boy in a space suit, in a space helmet. Of course, to enforce the idea that that's real, you could be an astronaut, an actor. And see, even actors that are promoting an alternate lifestyle, that's not good either, you know. Even though it may not be a space program per se, a lot of times it's an unhealthy life. One lives for the pursuit of pleasure rather than the pursuit of pleasing God. Not good. Not good at all. Hopefully I can see if I'm charging or not. Okay, so the broadcasts are not so I can hear myself talk. I do watch some of my content to see how it works out, what happens with that. The container works excellent for that, and the color is because I had coffee in it before. I'll just drink it. And what I wanted to show you then, now that there's less water in it, is just what'll happen with that. Let's see. It's just what it does. I'm gonna put it in the proper direction so you can see that. So no matter how I turn it, it will just continue to do that. It's got a nice handy handle on it. This is the one that I use to rinse off with when I'm done bathing, typically. And I do that because it's got a nice handle. I'll heat it up to actually like boiling, and then I'll let it cool off as I'm bathing. It turns out to be about the the right temperature to rinse off with when I'm done with the bath. And the reason why that's important is because I'm rinsing off my body with real clear water, clean. Okay, now we can see the slope of this. It goes up there, and then the low spot is right there. And that's why the drain is there. All the grading is away, and it's actually got a pretty stiff pitch up to the middle there. And then all of this will drain away. That's the way they do architecture. It's extremely important. The reason for that design is pretty obvious. It stops the building from being flooded. All of the land around it is graded away, so the water goes away from the building instead of filling it up, right? You could actually funnel it and create it the opposite. All of this is tipped away from the building, and right in the middle, right there, watch for the light colored vehicles. There they are. Didn't see the black one. Here comes the white one, semi. You'll see them. There they are. See, those clues are all around now. I see them. So let that sink in a little bit. Here's the same or a similar look. We've got the hood, which is curved, and there's the way it looks. I think it's maybe worth. See, I can drop that right down. The lens of the camera. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to show you. And that's just what it does, over and over. Hey, yelling at me. That's cool. People see the YouTube and they wonder what I got going on. You got a lot going on here, right? So if I wanted to have the YouTube in the shot here, I would need to go and park the car. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Here's how it works. And I think I'm going to lose the broadcast soon, and that's okay. I just wanted to illustrate something. It's how I called the shot before I saw it. You know, I've driven from Colorado to show this to you. Okay, what is this? Well, you'll see. There we see the clouds. That cloud right there is there. See it? It's perfect. It's a plane mirror. That's why I had so many mirrors and glass at the event. See it? Okay, for a further illustration, see I'll make a few ripples all around the world. That's how it works, baby. So we got the sun up here hitting that. It makes it pop a lot better. See the glistening right there? It's a perfect mirror as it's undisturbed. A little ripple and we see it. We can see that that sign is tipped, right? Oh, here comes a bunch of trailers. There you go. Absolute conclusive proof that the globe is a lie. Oh, I've got something for you. This is going to be awesome. Are you ready? What do you think I'm going to do? Less pressure in it at sea level than there was at the higher altitude. More temperature differential, all that. Here we go. It's just what it'll do. Taking some of the air out of the global lie, right? We're making this garbage up. We don't live on a globe. We didn't go to the moon. Of course, they're lying. I ain't buying, right? Looks like it's still working, so I'm gonna get us going. It looks like it's showtime, huh? All right, how about that? I see some a blue light special up ahead. Yeah, see, they're not messing around with the ticketing. They'll ticket people for speeding. Are you kidding? I don't think there's many warnings that go out anymore. They've got a lot of fuel to put in the vehicles, salaries to pay, and I'm fine with it. I want to see more people go the speed limit. Now this looks like the same officer that was at the welcome wagon. So somebody's delivering sugar water. Now, do you think Pepsi has him pay for his own ticket? What do you think? Does he have to pay for his own fines? A representative exceeding the speed limit? Probably. If you have an infraction, I would think that the PepsiCo company probably going to have them pay for their own failure. I would think. That's pretty much where companies have gone. I believe this was a textile company right here. Was is the operative word there. So they can take away the jobs by moving them elsewhere, and it drops the wage and increases the control that the system has. We've got a puddle right there in the parking lot. That would be another reflection. I could set it up to reflect wherever I want, basically, as long as it's in line with what the puddle is doing. See the building? There it is. That's why the evidence of the plane mirror, why I had it there at the show. And these are all early on when I started doing what I do with photography and videography. I would say sea level mirrors. So one of the very obvious things that I hope you're noticing is that the earth, the ground and concrete and rocks and structure has texture. And then if there's a puddle down in the low spot, it'll be flat and level, both flat and level. And I get people with all kinds of indoctrination and letters